something we all need. Gotta have it now if you wanna succeed. Striving, surviving, that's no doubt. Sticking together, we gon' find a way out. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all. To all you young people, give it your all.
Good evening, the back community. Thank you as always for staying involved. Thank you for staying engaged. Today I have a fellow podcast host who is no stranger to anyone. All of you guys know her as Juice. Formerly, I have Miss Jessica Ledger, who is going to be on the back community tonight. And listen, she has told me from the very beginning that everything and anything is on the table. So, I can't wait to ask you and get you in this ring of fire over here. But Jess, thank you for affording me your time today, and thank you for being on the back community.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, let me see, man. Like I said, I know you are not a stranger to anyone here, but I always like to give you the opportunity to formally introduce yourself to the back community. So my first formal question for you, Jess, is tell us about yourself. What kind of work do you do, and what do people know you for?
So I'm Jessica Ledger. Born in Nyack, New York, from Albany, New York, moved to Georgia, December 2008. My job, I am a complex senior commercial insurance adjuster. And most people know me as Juicy J, but now Juice.
Okay. So are you part of 3-6 Mafia, Juicy J, or, just check it?
I'm Juicy J 2.0, the better version.
Okay, listen, because I was about to say, World Domination was one of my favorite albums, so I was about to start asking you mad questions, Juicy J.
Nah, I can't give the secrets up.
Okay. Well, I know one of the other things that I know you for, and I started to follow you, is because of your work that you're doing on your platform. You have a new platform called Juicy Topixs, but I know you from your previous platform, and we'll get into that later. But please tell me why podcasting? How'd you get into podcasting?
Because I have the gift for gab.
Okay.
Everybody always comes to me for advice, and I like to research stuff. I'm very knowledgeable about a lot of things, and if I'm not knowledgeable about it, I'll find out about it. I just like to talk, I guess. So everybody always told me, why don't you just start a podcast? Why don't you start a podcast? And I think I had thought about it about maybe like 6 years ago, and never really went through with it. Just thought about it, and then I was approached for the Reem and Juice show. Okay. Which was 2020, 2020.
And how that one worked out? Doing the Reem and Juice show.
Actually, it was 2021, I believe.
2021.
It was good. It was good at first. It was. I'm very bossy. And I'm very strategic and on point and organized. And when there's an idea in my head, I think about so many different ways that it can go. And so it's not, it was called the Reem and Juice show. So technically it was Reem's show, and he approached me to join it because he thought my demeanor, character would bring something to the show. And so I agreed to do it. But to be 100% honest, I wasn't 100% mentally prepared to do it because I had just lost my little brother. So mentally, I wasn't all there. But however, I was giving it my all at that time. And so it started good. Our viewings was good, really good. We had people in other countries watching and everything. But then it slowly started to dwindle. It wasn't going where I thought it was going to be going. We weren't doing things that I thought we were going to be doing. So I gave it a year because anything that I do, I give it a year. And that's like one of my rules that I also taught my son. When you commit to something, give it at least a year. And if it's not what you want to do, then step away, but step away properly. So I gave it a year, and I think over a year, almost over a year. And I just felt like in my heart, it wasn't for me. We didn't have the same views. We didn't have the same interests. We didn't put in the same work. The communication wasn't there as it should have been. And let me say this, to any story, there's two sides. It's going to be my side, the other person's side, and the truth. Okay. So I'm not always right. And I know that, and I'll admit when I'm wrong or if I'm doing something wrong, and I'll ask for feedback. But if you don't give it to me, then that's on you at the end of the day, not on me. So it was just like a lot of different things that it just didn't work, which was sad because, it was getting good, but then it just started to dwindle. Same topics. It just, I don't know. I lost interest in it, to be honest.
Okay. Fair enough, man. I think a lot of people don't understand and realize how hard it is, one, to continue to give new or good content and to constantly evolve around the things that are going on. I actually like the dynamics that both of you guys had. I quickly became a fan because you guys always had a difference. Obviously, he was coming a different viewpoint. He was coming from a male perspective. You were coming from your perspective. And, I always think that having a male-female dynamic is always dope. Obviously, you're going to be seeing a lot of things differently. I enjoyed that about the show.
And I enjoyed it too. I definitely did too. He has his own personality. I have my own personality, which is probably about 7 of them. But it's just, I don't know. I wanted something bigger for the show. I wanted it to be more than just about relationships, and I wanted it to reach people in different ways and try to help people and promote Black businesses and entrepreneurs and young Black athletes, young artists, to give help for domestic violence, mental health issues. Like, I just wanted it a little bit more. And then I thought we would, after a year, you'd be at a point where you would have photo shoots, and then you start thinking bigger. Like, I wanted to come out with a liquor, Riemann Juice, a drink. But it's tiring when you work all day and then you have to put in
another set of work.
This is just my opinion, but I felt like I was doing most of the work, at least 65 to 70% of the work. He might have a different opinion, which he's entitled to, but I just felt like it was just too much. We weren't on the same page on a lot of stuff. So, and then towards the end, it just got a little too weird for me, where I was like, not for me.
Well, I mean, that isn't just unique to you guys' show. Obviously, we see those type of dynamics. Especially, we live in a social media world, so everyone we grow at different times. We have different opinions. We have different interests, and I think if I haven't learned anything over the years, is that the only way to be in control is to own what it is that you're doing, right?
Exactly.
So, and there's nothing wrong with, that's the one thing I say is, it's like, even if we part ways or we don't do anything, it's like, you have every right to produce the content and the level of quality that you want to do for what it is that you want to do. When we're on someone else's platform, we're at the auspices or at the begging mercies of other people sometimes. And that's what led you to creating Juicy Topixs.
Right, which is still under construction because I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what I want that platform to. I know what I want the platform to be. I'm not quite sure if I want to do a podcast, because sometimes I'm like, who the hell want to listen to me? So I don't want to even listen to me sometimes. So, but all my friends are like, no, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it. So I'm in talks with someone else who wants to produce my podcast and be a part of his team. And I'm thinking about it, but mostly I want that platform to be more of how can I help and give back to the community? Single moms, strong Black men, entrepreneurs, people with mental health, domestic violence, anybody looking for a job. And it's not just for the Black community. I don't mean to say it that way, but I support the Black community because we need the support. But it's for everybody, to be honest. But mostly, like, my stand is promoting. As you can see, I always promote my friend's business, or even people I don't know, or even people that I don't even talk to and probably never ever got along with. If I felt like their business was worth promoting, I've always promoted it with no expectation in return, just because I just want to see everybody win. That's it.
Listen, that's a hell of a quality to have, because everyone doesn't have those sentiments. But I'm going back to what you just said, because I think that you already laid out. I know you said Juicy Topixs is still under construction. I always see it whenever I go to your page anyway. But to be honest, I think you already laid out what your platform could be. And, I know we're talking about this in real time here, but the interests or the focuses that you really want to focus on, when it's your platform, Juice, you set what the topic is going to be. You set what the attention is going to be put on, and you have every capacity to do that. Who would come to your platform to listen? I would. And I'm just like any other common mofo. So I'm sure there's tons of other people who will come to the platform to hear exactly what you're dialing up and exactly who you're going to bring on your show. So if you were looking for, what to put on there, you're going to rewind this interview and listen to those things that you just identified and say, well, you know what, let me go ahead and chop this up and put it out there, because it's one thing I love about podcasts. There is an audience for everybody. Everybody. It's kind of like dating. There is somebody for everybody out here in this world. So, I think Juicy Topixs could be exactly what you were hoping to be able to create, and all those different facets on the previous podcast you were a part of. But now to be underneath your own Juice. So the success and failure of it is all on you. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the name, though, because it kind of sounds a little gossipy, and that's not what I'm going for. I'm not going for something like Shade Room, Hollywood. I'm not going for that. I'm not trying to gossip about anybody. I'm trying to help as much as I can. My son's 20 years old, so I'm at a stage in my life. I'm 37. I'm trying to find my purpose, and so I love giving back. Like, and a lot of people don't know that about me because I don't put that out there, because I don't need validation from anybody. But wherever I can help, I always help.
Okay.
So that's what I want it to be. So I'm on. That's why it says under construction.
I like Juicy Topixs, man. Juicy Topixs doesn't mean that it has to be limited to the latest gossip, but that is definitely what I picked up, because I incorporated a whole new segment of the Bat community just for you today, because I know you like Juicy Topixs. So I have a list of topics that I plan to go over with you in rapid fire because of it. But I think Juicy Topixs is a really catchy slogan. It also will be really easy to brand and to market it. So I hope you stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there. I sometimes the name can allude to something else. That's the only thing. Like, I don't want the name to be misleading. That's all. But I do like the name too. I do like it. With especially my emoji with the lips. Yeah. Because I think my best I'm Haitian now. Sometimes I don't pronounce stuff right, but my best feature is my lip. So I love my meme right now. I'm having my nephew draw something up. Way better, but it might say that. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. It's been that for a while, so we'll see. I have to give it more attention. It's just I got to get with this team to figure out what route we're going and how we're going to do everything. But I try to post as much as I can, and I try to promote people as much as I can on there for now. Okay.
Well, and I greatly appreciate it. I've been one of those people that you have promoted, so thank you for helping to promote Just a Kid from Arbor Hill as well.
Where my 10% at? So.
She said, yeah, let's talk about that, cuz. listen, cuz let's talk about that one right there. But yeah, I definitely hope that you bring everything to life as you envision it, and then be patient enough to watch it bloom. I've watched it doing this podcast, and then I've done it running a mentoring organization for 9 years. That everyone doesn't jump on board up front, but after you build it and create it, then people get a chance to understand what your actual vision is. So based upon what you're saying your vision is for that, I think it really has the capacity to touch people and to showcase more about you that you don't always get a chance to show.
I agree with you.
Wait. So I'm going back to this because you also mentioned something that I didn't know about you. So you grew up in Nyack.
Yeah, I was born in Nyack Hospital. Yeah.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense now because I was gonna sac passe.
Nabule.
Listen. The Haitian population is strong down that way.
Yes.
My wife is from down that way as well, Rockland County.
Is your wife Haitian?
Yes, she is.
Oh, so that's why you try to come at me saying you're gonna speak Creole.
That's right. That's right. Because after all these years, I should know more than what I do, but I still don't. So, exactly. But yeah, I didn't know you grew up in Nyack. A soup jumeau, for the top of the year, you got to have that. We don't always have it, but you're supposed to have it. What else stands out to me?
Do you have a Giorgio Griot?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so she can cook. So she's a real Haitian.
She's like you.
Well, I'm Americanized, but
yes, right. There you go. So yeah. So
I don't speak Creole on a regular. So my grandmother passed in 2012. So she's pretty much the only person that I would speak Creole to, but it was always half Creole, half English.
Okay.
And like my Aunt Mirza, she speaks to me in Creole, but I respond to her in English. So okay. I don't speak it often, but it's funny because no one thinks I'm Haitian. So when I'm around Haitians and they are talking in Creole, and it's funny what you hear.
Oh, listen, here's the funny part. Well, it's not so funny because my wife gets at me all the time because, growing up in Albany, I always lumped everybody into one group. So I really didn't understand, Nigerians, you from Guyana, you from Jamaica, you from Haiti. I lumped everybody into one group and everybody was Jamaican. So it wasn't until I went away to Charlotte and went to college that I realized how effed up that shit was. It's like, Tyrell, you do know that this is totally different. You do know that, because it's like I had some really good Haitian friends from Boston. Shout out to Beantown. And, but she used to love Bob Marley, right? So in my mind, it was always just like, the Jamaicans is all Jamaicans. She said, Tyrell, you do know that Haiti and Jamaica is two different places, right? And she had to educate me on that whole process. So I learned. Don't be judging me over there, Juice. I know you're judging me.
I would not judge you because there's some stuff that I'm still learning. So.
Yeah, but growing up in Albany, like I said, it was always, especially back then, I didn't have a lot of exposure. So it was you were either white, black, Spanish, or Jamaican to me.
Or Jamaican, yeah. But you kind of I feel like with Guyanese people, you could tell when they're Guyanese, like the accents are very different, to be honest.
Now that I'm a little bit more cultured, Juice. Yeah, but back then it was this was it. You were white, black, Puerto Rican, or Jamaican. So
or Spanish, yeah.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Yeah. So I don't say that proudly. I say that with a high level of understanding how ignorant it was, and I'm thankful that I've learned the beauty in different ethnicities and being able to categorize them correctly.
I don't think that's ignorant. You just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know till you learn.
That's the pure definition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see, man. So one of the things I also wanted to dive in with you about is because like I said, you grew up, you're from Nyack, but I know you're from Albany, New York. And growing up in Albany, New York, I think back when we were coming up, there were so many different other programs. It seemed like the city was full of so much more life. Right now, it also seems in a lot of ways that same love and life that I grew up enjoying, probably you grew up enjoying, isn't what we commonly hear. We hear a lot of the violence. We hear a lot of what's going on in the streets. I know today is a very significant day to you. How have you been impacted by gun violence?
Man, what was I, 6 months pregnant with my son, maybe, or a few months pregnant with my son at 16. I lost one of my closest friends, Avantage, Vonnie. He was killed by gun violence, I believe. So that was, I was sheltered as a kid. So I didn't know the street life or anything like that. I grew up in a Haitian household. So some things I was sheltered and I didn't know about until I was on my own at 15, 16 and in a certain different type of lifestyle or whatever. But man, 2 years ago, I think, I've known a few people from gun violence, but like the closest one to me 2 years ago, Shanita Thomas, rest in peace. One of my like real close friends, she was killed by gun violence. And it's crazy. It's still unbelievable to this day because she's such a great person. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to tear up, but it's sad. It's very, very sad. Like it's the least person that you would expect
it
to happen to, and it happened to. So without saying too much, because I don't want to get involved with the Albany drama and stuff, I just felt like that was just a crazy situation. And it's barely a year after, I lost my little brother to COVID or sickle cell. It was hard. It was hard. And I had to put some of my shit to the side to help others who had to grieve with, because a lot of people that hurt a lot of people. A lot of people were hurt by that. That's one person that no matter what she was going through in life, you never saw her like in a bad mood ever.
Yeah, no, she was super positive, man.
Like,
super positive. And just to see the work that she ended up getting involved in, it was dope, and it was really unfortunate. But I bring it up, and I'm going to go back even before I touch back on Nita. Is Vonnie? Herc was my guy. So a lot of people don't know how close like me and Vonnie and Jamal was back then. Like I was a tomboy, so I'm not gonna say like I had a lot of female friends because I was closer to my brothers than I was to my sisters. Love them equally, but I just always grew up like a tomboy. So a lot of my friends were males. So that was my boy. That was like I think that was the first time like reality hit me, like, oh my God. That was crazy. That was such a sad situation. Like it broke my heart. And I remember someone telling me, oh, you're pregnant, don't go to the funeral. And I'm like, because superstition or whatever. I'm like, I'm going to go say goodbye to my friend. Like we were super close. That was my boy. Yeah, man. Shout out to Miss Pearl. But yeah, that was definitely my guy. Judson brought all of us together up there. So
he was funny as hell. I was an honor student, so I was in on the gold room in Livingston on the gold side, while everybody else was on the bad side and slow side. But he was always very protective and very kind, and nobody's perfect in this world, including me. Everybody had their flaws or whatever the case may be, but he was a good person.
Definitely a good person, man. Like I said, I miss Hurt, that whole situation there, but that time period changed a lot, everything for me. I mean, it was just like, and realizing that how quickly your life can be over, right? And only getting the chance to get memorialized on a t-shirt. And it was something that it was happening too much. It was happening too fast. And it was just like, you know what? I wanted something more for myself than just that. But you talk about being prepared in the grieving process, right? And it's just like most of us were young adults ourselves, trying to figure out ways to console different things or different hurts that we can't really even articulate quite yet. And it's tough. And I think that for a lot of us, even as adults and those who are younger than us, struggle with grieving as itself. And just like we've experienced so much loss and we struggle with the grieving process.
Yeah, I would have to say, I lost 2 brothers to sickle cell when I was young. Brother Michael, I was 4, he was 4. He passed away 5 days before his birthday. He would have been 5. And then when I was 11, I lost my brother Harold. He was 17. But what I realize is when you're a child and someone passes away, you don't fully understand the longevity of it, right? You just know that this person that you love is gone and they're not there anymore. But what the adults, and this is just me speaking from experience and not putting blame on anybody, what the adults fail to do is sit you down and explain everything. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So you, as a child, you'll experience death and you might you cry about it and you're sad about it and you think about it, but you push it to the back of your head. You block it. Then when you become an adult and then you start experience death after death after death after death, it becomes where everything that you blocked out comes to the surface.
Yep.
And that's what happened to me when my little brother passed away almost 3 years ago. Everything that I blocked out came to the surface because I don't think I truly knew how to deal with death. Even though I lost my grandmother in 2012, I lost my father in 2016, 2017. I think it hit me a lot harder losing my little brother. And so it's just, I would say to parents, and I do it with my son, I try to do what wasn't taught to me. I try to teach my son. Sit your kids down and have like deep conversations with them so they can know how to deal with it. And then on top of that, depending on who the person is, because unfortunately with what's going on in Albany, a lot of these kids are losing their parents, they're losing their brothers, they're losing people closer to them that they should not be losing at this time. Get them therapy. Therapy is so freaking important. And it's like, Black people think there's something wrong to get therapy. There is nothing wrong with it. Like, you need it because absolutely. You can talk to your family and your friends all you want, but they know you're going to withhold some information, or you talk to someone who doesn't know you and your background and the situation. They're more open-minded to listen to you, and you're more free to actually express yourself. So I say when it comes to kids, like, you can't play around with that, because later on when they become an adult, a lot of things that they've been through as a child, it hits them and it hits them hard.
I'm glad you said that, because my 2 youngest, 4 and 6 now, and so they've been with me at 3 funerals, my mom's, my dad, and my brother's, right? And we still talk about it now, right? We talk about it now, and they get a chance to not only see me cry about the situation, but they also get a chance to see how I remember them. Like when it's their anniversaries or it's their birthdays, we're celebrating. Or sometimes my 6-year-old Dominic could just be like, Dad, I miss Grandpa, or Dad, I miss Grandma. He's like, you missed them too? I'd be like, yeah, man. I'd be like, thanks for remembering them, right? Yeah. But it's like those types of conversations, like you said, most of us as young adults, we didn't have anybody really having those conversations about it. And I think it's just a changing of the times, where we have more emotionally intelligent adults now, where you can talk about it. We grew up in households where, you had your feelings, but you keep your feelings to yourself, because ain't nobody dealing with that. You're like, we moving forward.
And that's not a good thing. Like,
no, no, it's not.
I have pictures of my brother all over. I have Shanita's memorial card all over. I have her memorial photo album in my car. Like it keeps me going. I want to see their face all the time. Like it's something that I do talk about all the time. Some people don't like to. Some people can't handle it. I have friends that have lost their parents and they've never seen their gravesite, or they just don't talk about it because it's too hard. And I understand that everybody grieves differently. Yep. Me, sometimes I like to sit in my grief. And when I do, I stay away from people because I don't want that energy around other people. But also I try to remember the good times and the happy times. And I try to remember that they're no longer suffering for whatever reason they were suffering when they were here on earth, and that they're still with us. So it's just different for everybody, but I just don't think it's healthy to just say, oh, this person passed away, and then everyone grieves for a week or two and then move on with their life. Like
but that's one of the things when you talked about seeking therapy, and even if it's not therapy, you know, I mean, there's a lot of grief share groups. You know, I went to grief share when my parents died, right? I was in grief share when my brother died, right? And it was extremely helpful to sit around other individuals who were experiencing loss too in real time, and not just looking to stay there, but to look for solutions on how to come out as healthy as you can. Because when you lose someone you care about, you'll always lose a certain part of you. Yeah. Right. But, you know, like you said, you end up finding ways to cherish the memories. I find ways to honor the way that I know that they would like to live. Right. And that's what helps to push me forward. I got a dog chain on right now that says, "Dear Mama, you are missed. Thank you. Love, Spoops." Right. She used to call me Spoops since I was a kid. Right. And it's just something that you carry on. You, like you said, you have your pictures, you have your memorial, the things that you memorialize, and you carry them with you. And that's how you keep your memories alive. You keep your memories alive with your kids. You keep your memories alive with you.
Yeah, definitely.
And shout out to therapy. You know, I'm a big therapy advocate. I talk about it on here all of the time. You know, I love therapy, and it's not as taboo as it used to, Juice. It's not as taboo as it used to be. You know what I mean? We used to couldn't talk. Most people didn't talk about finances before. Most people wouldn't talk about therapy, you know, but those topics that were once taboo are no longer taboo. People are talking about therapy. People openly talk about, I openly talk about it. People openly talk about finances and how to get better. And I love that aspect about, you know, our progression as a culture.
Yeah, me too. I do too.
Yeah. Let me see. Well, let me see, man. I'm gonna get you on something light. I'm not. This is not Angela Martinez's podcast when we're gonna be talking about death every episode. So you know, I'm gonna. Well, I like it. I can't think of the name right now, but one of her, I think her first episode was with Lauren London, and a couple of them afterwards, she was just talking about grieving and how we grieve in real time, especially for celebrities, you know. Right. But I'm gonna bring you to some other lightness, because like you said earlier, there's several aspects about you that most people don't know, because for whatever reason you don't let anybody in. You only give us the juice. But you know, I want to know about Jessica. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and thinking about your younger self. You know what I mean? You're 37 now, but thinking about your younger self, what is something you wish someone would have told the younger Jessica that you know now that you need it, but you wish someone would have been able to tell you or explain it, or either you listen? So what would you tell the younger Jessica?
I was a nerd. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, people who know me and grew up with me know that I was a nerd. So I'm not a girly girl. I'm very tomboyish, but I always wanted to be a judge. I never wanted to be teen and pregnant. It's just the way I grew up. It's a long story, but I wish back then I had somebody to push and motivate me, like I do my son, or like I do other people, to give me the knowledge and the tools that I didn't have back then, to know that I could still go, even with the kid. Like, and it's not that I couldn't finish school and be a judge or whatever, but I just felt like I had a son. He was my responsibility, nobody else's. So I had to step up and do what I had to do for him. But I just wish I had someone who believed in me and didn't give up on me.
Okay.
That's what I would say. And my brother Harold, he was that person for me. But like I said, he died when I was 11. So a lot of things changed after that. But the best advice I would give myself is not to be so hard on myself. I'm very hard on myself. I would definitely tell myself not to be so hard on myself and take everything one day at a time, one step at a time.
Okay. I appreciate that as a person who is a huge critic of himself as well. Don't be so hard on yourself. I know you said you wish that you had someone who would have reiterated those things to you. But in a lot of ways, we had people who were involved in our lives, but sometimes we didn't listen to it because, growing up, we know our own answers to everything. You couldn't tell me I wasn't grown by 12, before 12. So, you know what I mean? But that you can recall, were there any people that you can recall that mentored you at all?
I think I would have to say my Uncle Kevin and Aunt Amy, they're no longer together, but my Uncle Kevin is my mom's younger brother. I think he tried the best that he could. I just think, and again, I don't like to speak for other people or put something out that comes only from my version. But I think he tried, but I think my mother kind of blocked it. So when it came time for me to be receptive to what he was trying to do, I think I just kind of wanted my freedom away from all of it, to be honest. And then when the expectation that I didn't meet in other people's eyes, it was like, I don't want to say they turned their back on me, but like I got pregnant with my son, but people's expectations was I was a nerd. I was an honor roll student. Of course, I was going to go far, but we all make mistakes. And there was other people in my family who made mistakes who didn't, I don't feel like had to take care of their kid by themselves, which again, that's my responsibility. It's not about them helping me take care of him, but I just felt like I lived in Albany for 6 years of my son's life and he didn't know my family.
Okay.
So that to me, I just felt like that was crazy to me. That, you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, from their perspective, I also have the mentality where I'm going to show a motherfucker I can do it by myself, regardless of who the person is. I'm going to show you. So I'm very prideful in that way. And even with his father, like I'm very prideful. Oh, you think you're going to stop me? I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. So it's I see it from both sides, to be honest, but I still felt like my Aunt Mirza always been a part of my life. Always. I love her to death. And she's probably the only person I think, besides my siblings, some of my siblings that have been and my grandmother, of course, have been active with keeping in touch and seeing how we're doing and stuff like that. But no, my son barely knew my family.
It happens.
That hurts my heart. That definitely hurts my heart. But listen, it is what it is.
Everything is impersonal, and it was something I didn't understand until one, I got mature. But my younger self, I took everything personal. You looked at me wrong, it was personal. You said something about me wrong, it was personal. You know what I mean? You didn't respond the way that I would have liked. It was personal. And what I've learned through life and being patient and with grace, just realizing it's not as personal. Like sometimes we want support, we want other people to be there, and they got their own shit going on too, right?
Yeah.
And it takes you to get a level of maturity to be like, you know what? well, wow, I was going through this, you didn't reach out, and I'm mad at you because you didn't reach out. But then, once you realize what that person was going through and what that person was dealing with as well, it's like, oh, you give another level of grace. And then for you, and you might be able to relate to this too, because it wasn't until I started to lose people that I started to cherish people, right? And it was just like, so I don't take my friendships for granted, right? I don't take my family for granted. I don't take the situations that I can control for granted. A lot of it you can't control other people, right? But it forces you to live with a certain level of passion, because I don't want to lose that. Or in your case, you say getting pregnant early, and some people frowning or sticking their nose up like, oh well, just how'd you get here? But we're not the result of we're not the sum of our experiences, right?
Exactly.
So what I mean, but we are the result of what we learn from those experiences, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, every last person is going to go on their own journey, and the question is, what are you going to learn as a result of that journey?
Exactly. I agree with you. That's why I always, in every situation, I always think about why. Why did this happen? Or was this person like this? Or why did this situation occur? Because it's never a simple answer,
Yeah.
Even motherhood, I was told from my mother, being a parent doesn't come with a handbook. And at the time when she said that to me, I felt like it was an excuse. But then once I dug deep and realized what I wanted more from my son, I understood it a little bit better. Maybe not from her perspective, but from a better perspective on my end.
Yeah.
So I believe in having open conversations with your children about life. I posted something about some guy saying Black women don't protect their Black sons. They prepare them for the world because they know what's out there. And I didn't agree with it, because I feel like I try to protect him from what's out there, but also prepare him, because I wasn't prepared for what was out there in the real world. I had to learn everything on my own. So I didn't want that for him. But I understand more now that as a mother and a single mother, it's more to it. It's not just A, B, C, and D. It's a lot to it, to being a parent. It's a lot.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and
it's,
for somebody who's not the same type of mother that you are, because you can kind of understand their perspective a little bit, even if you don't agree with it, but you'll have more compassion for some of the things that they did or some of the decisions that they made.
Yeah, like I said, it's not as personal as we think, and even just because we're adults, we still got our own baggage. Most people don't learn how to unpack a lot of the shit that happened to them until they're adults. And you think that just because you're older now, you're so far removed from the hurt of the experiences. But what I've learned, and there was a book that I read that changed everything for me in probably about 7 days. There's a book called How We Love. And it ties directly into like who we are as adults has everything to do with how we were introduced to love when we were kids, right? And it's the attachment theory, right? And so we may think because we're older, what happened to us before or how people loved us or didn't love us is not affecting us, and that's so far from the truth. It's still affecting us until we learn how to tap into it and ultimately change it.
And don't block it. And sometimes you could block things out for a while, for a very long time. And then it takes that one thing to just set you off, where everything comes falling down and your whole, who you were just changes. But yeah, I agree with you on that.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to the phone, and you should know what I'm going to the phone for, Jess. You should know what I'm going to the phone for. Like I said, Juicy Topixs is, and for me, whenever I go there, I'm always looking at. I seen that last post too about white women raising black men and all that. So I like it because I'm a shit talker at heart. But I had to line up some conversations for you. You know, I have never done this rapid fire session that I'm about to do with you right now. But I'm about to throw out some random topics to you, and
Okay.
I want you to tell me first thing that comes to your mind on the topic.
Okay.
And I get to do this with you because, you know, you are Juicy Topixs. This is what you like to do. So, you know, I had to write down my research for all of the things that were going on in the culture. And
Okay.
if you see my status on Facebook today, it was everything to do with what I was getting ready to get to when I got to you for your interview today as well. And my
Okay.
status, it was saying the culture is killing us softly. Right.
Mm.
But first one that comes to mind for you, and I'm thinking of the Christina Aguilera song, "What a Girl Wants." What do women want, Jess? What do they want?
Okay, so that's kind of I'm not your typical woman. So
Oh, no! Don't do that! Don't do that, because guys do the same thing. Oh, I'm not like everybody
no,
else.
like
We
seriously,
are
like
all, yes, we are. Tell me, what is it?
um man, I my famous line that I can give you is a woman can handle the truth better than she can handle a lie. Just always be honest and let her choose if she wants to deal with a situation. Don't make the decision for her. But most importantly, like, you know, we want a partner. We want someone we can build with. We want someone we can talk to when we're having a bad day. We want someone that's vulnerable, that can open up and express themselves and communicate, and someone who can have fun. This is most women, you know, it's 2023. Some of these women have
You
changed.
see, I'm smiling. I'm just go on now.
Some of
Go
these
on.
women have changed. So they, you know, they kind of, when I was in my 20s, I couldn't say this. I couldn't say that's what I wanted, but I'm in my 30s, so I'm a little different. I'm a little older and wiser. But yeah, so I think that's what, if I'm thinking about me and my friends today and where we're at, well, that's what we want. We just want someone we can trust, that can trust us and be open and communicate and express their feelings, and don't be a lot of men are afraid to cry. It's like, crying is good for you sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I cry for no damn reason, just cause I just want to cry.
Crying
So
is good, but
yeah, it is.
it's not that most men don't do it. It is because, and you know, I literally had this conversation. If you look in the chat today on my status, one of the guys was just saying why, you know, he hates the fact that men can't be vulnerable. Just like, because, you know, society, most people are thinking that we got to be overly masculine. You know, I always got to be ready to smack you upside your head. I gotta respond. I gotta be loud. I gotta be brash, right? But you know, because most men, a lot of men, I'm not gonna say most, a lot of men, their experience when they are able to be vulnerable isn't always received, right?
Right.
It'll be like, oh, you know, you too soft. Oh, he's crying, or da. But it's crazy that you say that, you know, the 30-year-old Jess wants that. What about the 20-year-old Jess? What would she have done to the person who was crying and like, you know, oh, I love you, baby. Like, yeah.
I used to be telling my friend, this motherfucker too needy.
Yeah.
Like seriously, because I wasn't, you know, that's not where my mind frame was. And
What was the change? Why? What was the change? It had to have been something other than age. What was the change, and where do you feel like what you were looking for as a woman changed?
I would have to say when I hit probably 27, 28, my mind frame started changing. And I took a break from dating. I think probably like 28 until after my 30th birthday. Like, I just took time for me to learn me and to understand me in different aspects, and to know what I wanted and what I didn't want, what I would put up with and what I wouldn't put up with. And to know that, you know, life's, like you said, life is short. You're not getting any younger. So it didn't have anything to do with a man or anything like that. It's just, I think I got to a certain age where I was just like, you know, Juicy J is kind of overrated. Like, I want people to know Jessica. Like, I feel like sometimes Jessica's too much for people. They like the fun, juicy juice girl, Juicy J, but Jessica's more real. So, yeah, that's just where I was at like around 26, 27, 28. I saw myself transitioning and changing. And then also I surrounded myself with a different, I want to say this good. I believe in surrounding yourself with people that elevate you.
Absolutely.
Right. And it has nothing to do with anybody else, because you have different friendships and different types of loves for different people. And it's not that you think you're better than anybody or anything like that. It's just you when you see your friends are lawyers and paralegals and homeowners and stuff like that, that motivates you to want that too. It motivates you to want to do better, to like, I don't need to be in a club every weekend. That's tiring. I'm getting old, like, I want to do more sophisticated things. I want to do more fun things. I want to travel more. I want to be there for my son in every aspect that I could be there for him. So I think that's where I was at like 27, 28.
Okay. All right.
If that answers the question, I don't know. I babble a lot.
No. That I think it does, and even if it doesn't, I'm accepting that right now because I'm getting on to my next juicy topic.
Hold on, but I want to say something. I don't believe in women telling men what they are looking for, because a lot of times when you meet someone, you meet their representative. So they ask you these questions on what you're looking for in a man. And when you tell them what you're looking for, that's what they give you. And then months later, they're like somebody totally different. So I think women need to be cautious on when a man asks you that question. Don't tell him exactly what you're looking for. Just be more like, you might say, I want someone who's family oriented. I want someone who is lovable, but don't say, oh, I want this and I want that. I want this and I want that, because that's what that person is going to try to be in the beginning. And then their true self come out, and then you're like, so.
Well, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you on that, Jess, because I think that it is very important to be upfront and honest about what you want, right? And that's coming from guys telling a woman what it is that he wants, and from a woman telling a guy what they want. The real measure is how much time are we really spending studying whether or not if this person's words match with their actions.
Yeah.
Right. But that doesn't, we shouldn't change our standard because of fear, because fear is always going to get us in bad situations, right? So our standard should be our standard, but we should start looking for quality, right? And it's just like, I always say this now for younger guys I mentor, I say, have the eyes to look for quality. Don't just look for what's in style or what everybody wants right now, because you're gonna live long enough to realize that what's in style right now might not be in style later. So, Yeah. So look for quality and don't change, what your wants are, because you're entitled to want what you want, reasonably, so, but yeah, you're entitled to want what you want, but
people would be them from day one. I just like me, I'm me from day one. Like, this is who I am. I don't pretend to be anybody else. Like, I'm honest. I tell people the truth. Like, I'm very honest about who I am. But a lot of people aren't like that. They give you their representative. So,
well, it's a lot of it's learned behavior too. We got to learn how to be better versions of ourselves, and we also got to learn how, if I'm not your cup of tea, it's fine. I don't got to change to become your cup of tea. Exactly. I can be somebody else's cup of tea. But most times we want what we want, so we end up trying to change and cater to those things instead of it's probably a reason why we're not drinking each other's cup of tea. So let me see. You're in Atlanta,
Georgia.
Offset. So we're gonna talk about the Migos. How do you think Offset's killing is affecting the culture there in Atlanta? from what you can tell. I know you pride yourself on staying up on everything in. How has Offset's a murder, killing affected the scene there? Because from what I'm hearing, especially among the celebrities, people are saying since that, they don't really even enjoy going out anymore. But what are you seeing?
I really don't go out that often.
Okay.
Right, what people think. So I think that was sad because I think out of the group, he probably was the most calm, cool, collective one. And it just goes to show, like, this should be a life lesson to people.
Facts.
Like when Shanita passed away or was murdered, I thought that would be a life lesson to people. Yeah. But people are still doing dumb shit, to be honest. Facts. And even in Atlanta, people are still doing dumb shit. And I think I turn around, I read the news a lot. It's always a shooting. It's always a killing. And it's always a 20-year-old boy shooting somebody, 21-year-old boy shooting someone. And it's because Kent passed this law that you don't need a license to carry a gun now. So now anybody can have a gun. And I just think that's so irresponsible. So, I mean, it's sad. It's very sad. Do I think anything has really changed? I'm not really on the party scene, to be honest. I can't answer that question for you. I think the party scene changed years ago, to be honest. But
when people started wearing tight pants, I'm asking for a friend.
I moved down here, like,
I'm asking for a friend.
Man, I don't know. It was to each his own. It's like, how does your nuts breathe though? So sorry.
Oh man. You're like, what?
Like, how are your pants tight? I hate wearing tight pants, but I have no choice because it is what it is. I'm a curvy person. So, but I don't know why men want to wear tight pants. I don't know. But sometimes it's attractive, but not that extra tight. I'm like, aren't you scared your pants gonna bust? But
man, to each his own. I don't know how. I don't know how. But to your other point, it was that those situations, Offset and even Shanita's, it's actually I didn't even draw the comparison with the question that I had, but you said something else that you changed, your friends changed, or the people that motivated you or that you put yourself around changed, right? From those two experiences, because like you said, Offset, he was the most calmest guy out of the bunch, right? And, the last person you would have thought would have happened to it. Shanita was transitioning herself and doing all types of positive things, right? And would have been the last person you would have thought would have happened to it. And I think it goes back to really realizing how important it is to choose the people that you choose to be around. Right. You are the sum of the people that you speak to the most. Right. Who you hang with does have consequences that could be negative. Right. So it's really just like, getting to the point of life of realizing that I have to take greater inventory of the people who I let in my life and the people who I keep myself around, because it's really, really hard to stay safe, and safety is number one on my priority list.
But that doesn't mean you love other people less. It just means sometimes, and I'm like this with family, friends, even with my son. Sometimes you gotta love people from afar in order for you to have your peace, because that's most important. You have to have peace in your life. So it doesn't mean that you love other people that you grew up with or hang out with heavy any less than you loved them before. It's just, people grow apart, whether it's man-woman relationship, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, relationship, entanglement, or friendship or family. People just grow apart, and it's okay. It doesn't mean, you love them any less. It's just, we're adults now. We all got our own shit going on, and other people's shit can be too heavy for you. I know for me, that's where I'm at. I can't take other people's shit on me right now. I just can't. So I wish and pray for the best for everybody. I love everybody. I support everybody, even from here. There's like no one who could say I don't, if they put something out, I don't purchase. And I support everybody, whether I know you or don't know you, whether I'm friends with you or not friends with you, whether we had issues in the past or whatever the case may be, I still support you because I want everybody to win. But
wait, you stay right there. You stay right there because I'm coming back to you because you said that people have the choice to like you can still love someone, right? But you can move forward because that's going to lead me to my fourth question for you on my juicy topic list. Is it okay for Lori Harvey to leave Michael B. Jordan? Go.
Yes. You want me to give an explanation?
Why?
Because listen, I don't understand why when a female do something, it's a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
And you better not use Drake in your explanation too, because I hear Drake getting ready to come out of your mouth, Juice. Go on.
No, I'm beefing with Drake right now because it came from my girl Meg. And so I don't listen to any Drake music right now, which is hurting me because I love me some Drake. But no, I'm just saying, I just feel like, okay, so she dated a few people in the industry. She realized that they weren't for her. She has the right to move on. That's her business. Does her business pay you? No, mind your goddamn business. But when someone else do it, did he do it? It's okay. He got 100 girls. I'm trying to think of other people. When other people do it, a man do it, it's okay. It's no problem. But when a female does it, it's, oh, she's a whore, or she's this, or she's like her mother, or okay, her mother taught her well. Shit, you ain't happy, move on.
Definitely
why waste your time? Life is too short to be unhappy.
Facts.
It really is. Now, I don't know how long she took to move on from one person to another.
She said, now that's another story. I don't know if she gave herself time.
People got to bounce back by getting someone else real quick, whereas in other people need a few months to just heal and feng shui and whatever. But that's none of our business, to be honest. I don't think what she did was wrong. It's not that many people, to be honest. What I counted, like 5. Like her father said, man, I wish I was as smart as my kids. They know when to move on. When love isn't serving at your table, it's time to go. It's time to bounce. But then at the same time, I also feel like you can't help who you love. So even if you're with someone who's cheating on you, had kids on you, or whatever the case may be, and you want to stay with that person, you have that right. You can't help who you love until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's your business. It's nobody else's. But if you want to move on every 2 weeks to someone else, that's your business. It's nobody else, because nobody pays your bills.
Facts.
That's how I feel. I don't like how they're coming at her, because I don't know. I just don't like it. And you know what's so crazy is there are a lot of females that dated a lot of people in the industry.
Facts.
But
way before Lori Harvey.
Yeah, way before her. But they don't blast them, or
they do. They do.
They do blast them, but they don't blast the men. That's what kills me. Men don't get blasted for anything, ever.
And it's the double standard, but it is something that, I think, I speak for myself personally, where I would say now, after chasing as much as I used to, right, I would probably give back 85, 90% of that stuff and find somebody I could build with, right?
Right.
But most men are taught that this is what you do, right? This is what you do. You rack up numbers. This is it. And it's kind of like, building more. Huh?
Who taught you that?
Our older siblings, are the people that we watch in our community, even the ladies. So I'm gonna be perfectly honest. You can say that most ladies weren't looking for the soft, the sentimental guy. Those were the guys who got ran all over. They were looking for who was going to give you Mr. Milkbone and give you problems and keep going. So that's what it was. It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I do.
It is. Fentanyl. So it is a drug that is affecting everyone in alarming numbers. Why is it so popular?
I don't know. I don't take it. I'm careful. Okay. I carry my gun with me wherever I'm at. I read a lot, so I don't accept roses from nobody. I don't open my car door with my regular hands. I have tissue. Like, I'm very careful because it's killing people, and people are trafficking females that way too. Right. So I don't know why it's popular. I'm not a dope girl, so I won't know.
I don't know. I ain't doing it.
I have no idea, and I stay in the house, majority of the time. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I just tell people, be careful. Make sure you know your surroundings. I'm always watching my surroundings.
Especially now, because trafficking is at an all-time high. It is nothing to be played with. So one, I'm glad you're not messing with fentanyl, but two, I'm glad you said, Ty, I'm strapped. I ain't worried about this. I ain't looking for none of that. There you go. So,
I got my gun right here on the table.
There you go. It's like, there, you can't get me. I'm virtual right now. Just you couldn't do nothing to me with it. Jeez.
Yeah, if somebody try to take me, I'm be like, listen, I'm 37. I'm an old ass. You don't want me. You want that little girl. You want that young tenderoni over there. Leave me alone.
So go find you something else, boy. Two more of my topics for you. Clothing. What is going on with the clothing with today's athletes and rappers?
Well, how they dress?
Yeah.
Females or males?
This is I'm males.
I don't know. They weird, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like they have money. I feel like people with money don't know how to dress, men wise. And then I think with females, men wise, I think they just don't know how to dress, and they're freaking confused. And I don't know. They're probably trying to bring back. I was staring at the wall. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're trying to bring back old styles or make it hip or whatever. But some stuff looks cool, but I don't want to see a man in a dress or in a skirt. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. And then with the females, I feel like like they don't owe anything to anybody. But a lot of these young girls emulate what they see on TV. And if they have young moms, they let their daughters dress a certain way. And even when I was younger, I don't think I dressed too seductive. But if I look back, I think it's okay to cover up. You can still be attractive and cover up. You don't always have to.
I was about to say, Main Event sent me some pictures for this interview because he knew what I was about to ask you. So say that again. Okay.
Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I do my research.
Hold on. No. Because I got pictures too. I didn't think now. I was the queen of sneaky peeks. So no, I think I dress appropriate majority of the time, 85% of the time. I might have a couple things on that I probably shouldn't have been wearing at 18, 19 or whatever, but I didn't know any better back then. I'm older now, so I try to dress appropriate. Once in a blue moon, I might want to dress a little unappropriate, but I think if I had a daughter, I would definitely wouldn't want her to showcase her body at that age because there's predators out there, Yes. And they just need to let them be young girls and live lives and have fun and enjoy their life. All that other stuff will come later. I don't know. I've been seeing girls with colored wigs on and these dresses and leotards that Beyonce and them is wearing. I just feel like, it's none of my business, but I just feel like I feel like as a mom, when you're younger, you probably were sexualized and you understand that feeling. So why would you be okay with your daughter dressing that way? Because that's how men are looking at them. Oh, they're 18, they're legal now. They're still babies. They're still babies, but yet they have these tiny little dresses on and it's just, I don't like it, but again, I don't have a daughter and it's none of my business, but I just feel like you should probably allow your kids to be kids. Like
I like that.
I have two nieces, and one is both my nieces are way developed for their age. And one will send me stuff and I'll be like, I'm not buying that. You out of your mind? I'll buy you a sweatsuit. You will not be getting this tight little dress. And then the other one, she's like girly, and they're both girly, but they just have different styles. And it's
don't be in a rush to be old.
Grown.
Don't be in a rush. I know the only thing that can teach you that is experience, because you can say it until we're blue in the face and people are going to try what they try. I told my oldest son the same thing. He's 13, be 14 this year. We're like, listen, and all he wants to do is to be older. And I just be like, listen, take your time.
Yeah.
Don't be in no rush. Ain't nothing but bills and responsibility on this end. And you got the rest of your life for that. So take your time.
Yep. That's what I tell my son all the time, and it's different. You go, you don't have a daughter, you have 3 sons, right?
Yep.
So you're going to go through these different stages, and you think when they get 18, it's over and your life is free. No. It's not. It's like, it's a different type of worry that comes. So, yeah, you'll see though. But yeah, I remember that 14 was a perfect age. I think my son from 10 to about 6 months ago. Perfect. 6 to 8 months ago. Perfect. Now we're kind of butting heads a little, but we're trying to get back on track. But I also know that I can't be his savior. Like I'm pulling back, and I'm letting him know, you got to figure it out. I figured it out at your age with a kid. Now it's your turn to figure it out. Can't run a mama for everything. Because I'm the mom that I'm a jump, pop, and skip. Who fucking with my son? Oh, you got the right one. That's me. But I'm learning to fall back in, because I have to figure out my life at this point in time. I got to figure out what's making me happy. And like I told him, like, you're 20, you're a man. It's time for you. You got to figure out who you are as an individual. And I can but help you so much, but I can't help you be the man that you're supposed to be. That's ultimately going to be up to you. So that's where we're at.
And the saying goes, when you enable a child, you disable a man. So, I think speaking from experience, the more responsibility I had, the more mature I became. The less responsibility I had, I was subject to do anything. But
But like my son had responsibility since 6 years old. He was doing laundry. He had a key to the house. He had a cell phone. He was cooking. Like I haven't done my son laundry since he was 6. I don't play that. Like you don't wash your own drawers. I don't do that. So he's always been responsible and a little bit more mature for his age. But at the same time, I try to make sure he had a good childhood as much as I could. So that the things that I've installed in him, I hope he takes with him and he learns whatever, because they're going to make bad decisions. They're going to make bad choices, just like we did. We did shit that we weren't supposed to be doing at 19, 20, 21. Just hopefully he makes better decisions and he learns from them. That's where we're at right now.
Love it. Let me see, man. I got 2 more questions for you before I let you go. I'm off my Juicy Topixs. Thinking about success. I think we all have our own definition of success, Jess, but if you were to define success, how would you define success?
I would define success as putting your all into something, and sometimes it's not always going to work out at first, so you can't give up. Just don't give up if it's something that you truly want to do. And it's different type of success. It doesn't have to be wealth. It doesn't have to be a relationship. It doesn't have to be all of the and above. It can be anything. Being a successful parent, being successful at work, being successful at your job, or being successful if you're an entrepreneur or a relationship. But it doesn't have to be everything. Like, you don't have to think that because you're not where someone else is that you're successful.
Facts.
And and it's different type of successes, and your time is your time and that person's time is their time. So that would be my definition of success, is just putting your all into what you believe in and what you love and what you cherish. And it doesn't necessarily mean money, because money for me, I feel like money is the root of all evil. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're successful just because you have money.
Facts. Yeah. What do they say? Money or power, right, only personifies who you really are. You're an asshole, you're an asshole, right? If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. The more you have of something allows you to showcase more of that. But if you use it and put money in its proper place and realize that it does have a function, we can't live without it, but put it in its proper place, we don't have to be led by it too. But
because I know cornballs that got a lot of money. They still fucking corny. Seriously. They think just because they got money that they the shit. No, you're still corny. At the end of the day, you're a cornball with money. That's it. But
I'm over here thinking of Jay Crowder talking about Russ, and he said, "Oh, he's a cornball." I said, "Oh man, come on."
I hated that. I felt like they was hating on him.
They were hating on him, but I mean, when you just said the cornball thing, I was just like, hey, because he would be.
But I was being, when I say you can have money and be a cornball, I will play a recording so you can understand what I'm saying. Like, there be dudes who think because they have money that's gonna attract you and that's what's gonna get you, but they don't bring anything else to the table but money. Well, as in Russell, he's a God-fearing man. He accepted someone else's child at a very young age that he didn't have to. He's leader in his family. Just because he's not out clubbing and doing the things that y'all doing doesn't make him a cornball. That's her cup of tea. He may not be y'all cup of tea, but I feel like they were hating on him, to be honest. I don't think he's a cornball.
Yeah, it was only really the one guy, as that Jay Crowder, that said it. But no, to be honest,
I forgot who else was on that episode, but I feel like they was kind of agreeing. I didn't hear anybody coming up and standing up for him and being like, nah, he's not a cornball, he's a family man. And then you got to understand what happened to this man before Sierra. His wife cheated on him with his promate, or whatever they call him, his teammate or whatever. So here he comes, he finds this person, she going through whatever she had went through with Future, and they just click. And sometimes people just click, and opposite attracts. I firmly believe date the opposite of you.
Absolutely. Date the opposite of you, embrace difference, right?
Yes.
Because there's a purpose for difference. But I also think that where he is, whether you call him a cornball, a square, or anything like that, is where most of us men aim to be right now, especially when you get to a certain level of life and you realize that being cool ain't everything that it's cracked up to be.
Exactly. Right? And I will be honest and say the early 20 me would probably say he was a cornball. Like, the early 20 me would probably say, yeah, he kind of cornballish. But that's where we as female mess up, because I've known a few good guys that I felt were cornballs, and I did them, and they probably would have been a great fit for me. It was just I wasn't there mentally. I wasn't mature enough to understand it at that time. But no, he's definitely not cornballish to me.
Okay. And let me see. What is your favorite place to visit in the Capital District area whenever you do go back home, and why?
I hate going back home. I tell you, I'm sorry. I hate going back home. After Shanita's death, it's just, I don't know. I haven't even been back since Shanita's death, but I've been back to New York. So my favorite place to visit is my brother's graves. All three of them are buried together.
Okay.
But if I have, when I do come back, I'll be there soon. I'm only there to see my niece and get my niece. before, it would be like, I love to go back to hang out with my friends and do stuff with my friends that I haven't done in a while. But now, honestly, I have no desire to be in Albany. I just don't. Like, I don't know how you feel when you go back, but I feel like it's a dark cloud, to be honest.
I think
it doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. It's just, I don't know. It's a lot to me. So I'm low key. When I'm there, I'm going to be in and out and no one's going to know.
I'm low key, but I'm low key because, safety is very important to me. I don't like to put myself in positions where I might have to act in a way that I've tried very, very hard to move away from. But, the other part is that, I stay connected to the nostalgic a love of the area, right? So, I know everybody from uptown and downtown. So, I'm in and out, taking care of what I need to go take care of there at the house there or business there and getting back out of the way. But it's always going to be home for me. And, I love sharing it with my kids. So I love them. They'd be like, oh man, can we go back to our house in Albany? So I like that too. But, okay, that's fair.
It's cool. I mean, I have people there that I love, but I'll send my
message. I understand it. I understand it.
I just want to be in and out. It has nothing to do with anybody personally. It's just too much. It's too much bad shit that goes on. And I'm at a point in my life where I take a lot of stuff to heart. So I don't want involvement in anything. I'm not a drama person. Anybody knows me. I hate drama. I hate confrontation. I hate all of that. And I want everybody to be successful and get along and do what they need to do for them and worry about themselves. So for me, I'm just in and out. When I do visit, if I do visit, I'm there to get my niece and bounce and get to the city and then come back and drop her off. But I don't have a need to stop and hang out and be anywhere. Besides, of course I got to stop and see my bird at B and my nanny boo, Central Towers. What is it called now? Capitol Green.
Yeah.
Of course, I make my certain stops, of course, to say hi to the people that I love, but I'm not hanging out.
Okay.
It's too much going on. It's too much sad shit going on.
Okay. I respect it. Final question for you on the back community this evening. What about your life's path are you most proud of? Just when you look back at where you are and what you've overcome or what you've accomplished at 37, what about your life's path are you most proud of?
I wonder why I gotta think so long. I think I'm proud of the woman I've grown into and the woman that I'm going to continue to grow into. I'm proud of raising a decent human being. I am proud of my success in my career, which is continuing to grow and evolve. And then I'm proud of some future endeavors that I have planned as well. But most importantly, I am proud that I can share openly some of the things that I've been through with people that has been through the same things, or to give feedback to young females, and even males, young males. I inspire to try to help as much as I can when it comes to something like that, or just like the little donations that I do throughout the year that a lot of people don't know about. I'm proud of that I'm in a position to do that when I can do it. Because I believe in giving back. It's times that I had nothing and I had nobody to help me, so I could just imagine what other people are going through. So stuff like that makes me proud that I'm in a position where I think most importantly, I'm in a position to help when I can help.
Okay. All right. Well, Jessica, Ms. Juice herself, thank you for affording me your time this evening. Thank you for your vulnerability. That's a word that means a great deal to me. So when you said it earlier, I'm just like, yeah, I better learn this. Vulnerability is important.
Yeah, it's important. Communication is important. You got to have that. Yeah. It's like nowadays, no one picks up the phone. I mean, I don't really like talking on the phone anyways, but people try to keep up with your lives through social media. I hate it, to be honest. And if I wasn't trying to do my podcast and some other stuff that I got going on, I wouldn't be on social media because I feel like people look at a photo and they just assume, you know what I'm saying? They just assume, oh, she has this or he has this or their life is perfect or whatever. But you never know what someone is going through behind closed doors. So stop assuming, or like that's how they keep up with your life and they think they know what you got going on. It's like it takes 2 seconds to send a text message or 2 seconds to pick up the phone and say, hey, how are you doing? And what I realized with me for this year is I got to fall back of always being the one to reach out to people.
Yep. Give people a chance to show you who they really are. You're important. They'll make time for you.
Yes.
But Juice, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. I can't wait to get your story out to the people. Once again, thanks for being on the Black community. Thanks for being open and honest. Thanks for telling me how you think Lori Harvey leaving Michael B. Jordan was a bad mistake. Thank you.
No, I didn't say, hold on.
Just kidding.
I didn't say they were a bad mistake, but let me end it with this. When they did start dating, I didn't see it.
You did who?
I couldn't see it.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, man. Listen.
Didn't see, she's going to marry him. No, I didn't see that.
Okay. All right.
He gives me, Michael B. Jordan gives me a little cornballish. To be
See? It hasn't left. It hasn't. Oh, man. Listen, the Black community, we have Juice herself. Juice, thank you for giving me your time, man. I'll play catch up with you later. I knew it. Look at you. It still exists right now. I can't stand you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Keep climbing up the ladder. A Black Lives Matter. It matter. So all you young people, give me all. 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 Matter. A Black Lives Matter. They matter. A Black Lives Matter.